There's a funnel. See how nice and tight that is? Can you see it? Ian?
I'm zooming in on it.
You can do one the other way. Bring it down a little. How you doing today, guys? Let's do something a little bit different today. Every time I post a picture of these guys flying on Instagram or whatever, there's a lot of interest. I think there's a lot of interest in these quadcopters in general. I really like it. I haven't went above the toy grade area yet, and this is about the best toy grade available almost anywhere in any town copter. And again, this is not being paid by this company Sky Viper or anything. I'm just telling you about something really cool that's available to you. It's a whole lot of fun. If you have younger kids, I think they could actually handle this, although you might want to start off with a little bit smaller quad. I really liked my Sky Viper, I think it was something 200, N200. It's a little nano. It can fit in your palm of your hand. That video is not about this. I just wanted to give you a little precursor to how I, got into the quads. It was with those little ones flying around the house. That way you can't lose them, and then start to bring them outside while the wind's a little bit too much. And yeah, they do okay in the wind if it's a powerful little nano one that will fit in the palm of your hand, but nothing like this guy. This is the Sky Viper stunt drone S670, and it does a whole lot of stuff. It can do, for beginners, it does a whole lot of stuff. If you're in the hobby and you're obsessed, like I am obsessed with knives and stuff, this is probably not going to interest you. But for anybody else who is just looking to get into it, doesn't want to spend a lot of money, because you have to remember, sometimes these things get lost, sometimes they crash in a road, and a car might run over them. So it's got to be money you're willing to lose for the risk reward of the reward being it's a whole lot of fun, especially once you figure it out, but you just have to be willing to lose that. This setup here costs $50, and I'm gonna walk you through how I have mine set up. So they've done a lot of really cool things. You can see it is a gear-driven quad. There is a motor on each corner. The green is the forward, black is the back. Really good for orientation purposes. When the copter's flying to you, anything remote control, you're gonna have to pull it the opposite way. So this will bank it this way if it's coming to you. When it's coming out away, this will bank it. It's the same way, just the orientation. When it's coming to you, you got to turn around your head. When it's flying past you sideways, you got to turn it around in your head. And that's why I like it. There's a lot of these quadcopters that have cameras on them, and I think Sky Viper even makes them with cameras. The one thing that I thought when I was buying this one was that I did not want any extra stuff on it. For one, I really like, what is it called? Remote flying. Maybe that's not the right term. Just like manual remote control stuff. Meaning there's no camera on this, there's no screen, I'm not looking through goggles. That's really well and good, but for me, half the fun of flying a remote control airplane or helicopter or quadcopter is doing that little puzzle in my brain of the orientation, which way things are going. Then you also have to control your up and down height, how close do you want to be to the ground, how far up do you go, and all that. So I really dig all that, and I think this is a great training aid to learn all that stuff. So I would think, even if you're considering getting one of those higher end custom quadcopters, or you want to spend a couple $100 on one, because you can easily spend probably $1,000 on one, try this $50 toy out first if it's your first time flying. It's really nice. I'm going to cut in some flying footage a little bit later. First, I want to go over some really smart things that they did do. Okay, so from what I had read on the internet, from my understanding, is to be considered toy grade, you have to have your battery permanently mounted. Okay, but they kind of skirted around that. So what they did is they used this JST style plug here, and I will roll these in a little bit later and talk more about them, but you can buy more battery packs. Oh man, and look at this. They made the battery bay larger than the bay that they give you. So this stock battery will fly for about 3 or 4 minutes of aggressive flying. It could be more if you're on the middle setting or the lower setting. But what they did here was make a battery tray. This is on a spring. And then they screwed this in. So technically it was permanently mounted. But guess what? As soon as you remove that screw, this slides down. And they have a little battery bay here. And they make sure that they tell you to take the battery all the way out to charge it. Now this is a lithium battery, LiPo battery. Is that lithium? I don't know. LiPo battery, and it's only at 350 milliamp. So it doesn't fly that way. It doesn't fly that long, all right? But they filled up all this space with this battery tray. Well, why would they do that? Well, these batteries are very popular with these little toy grade quadcopters, and maybe even some hobby grades use these. But look at this. You can go on Amazon and for 20 bucks. So now you're getting $50 for this, and then another 20 bucks. You can get 4 batteries that are not 350, but they are 750. This single battery pack will keep me in the air for almost 8 minutes. So times that by 4, and you've got yourself a good little time here. I think you can fly for almost 35 to 40 minutes, depending on how aggressive you're flying, how many flips and tricks and stunts you're doing. Are you flying forward really fast, turning around, flying backwards really fast? You know, how, or are you just kind of gliding it around and making your banking turns, doing your figure eights and flying around, going up high over here? You know, it just depends on how you fly. I fly really aggressively because, again, I like the danger, I guess. Although there's not really much danger. I have crashed this. Not a ton, but enough to know it's very durable. You can see some dirt and stuff in there. Some of my propellers, props have been scratched up. They do come with an extra set of props. I just think it's a wonderful package for the $50, but if you're going to plan on just keeping this stock battery, this is not the purchase for you. Run on Amazon and grab these extra 750 milliamp hours. It has a JST plug on it. So now look what they can do. They made that bay a little bigger. This fits absolutely perfectly if you keep this plastic tray out. Keep this out. Okay, put this in, and this just slides right in there without the tray. That comes down, catches that. That is a very tight fit. I've never had one come out in the air. And then just like this one, you just plug it in. I've already worn this battery pack out. But yes, it is kind of ugly. You just do have these wires hanging out, but it's all protected. And it should be in the air anyways. But that is kind of ugly when it's flying by you. But it's a toy. And you have a lot of run time. And it's like that anyways. To remove the battery, you just unplug it. Pull this up. And then kind of work it out. Switch your battery pack. Keep on flying. It's awesome. It's awesome. Not really a review on the battery pack, but for 20 bucks. I'll post the link below. I get no kickback or anything. This is just me telling you about something really cool. So it does come with the 4-way charger, so you can charge all your 4 batteries at once. You do have to, it's a little bit janky, but totally works. This plugs into this adapter here. And now this fitting will slide into this here. And then you plug 4 of them in all the way around. Your 4 lights will light up, and they'll turn off when the battery packs are charged. These larger battery packs take about 2 hours to charge all 4 of them. The factory battery pack takes around 30 or 40 minutes, if I remember right. There is a little bit difference in flying with these packs because they're about twice the weight of this pack. But this is such an aggressive flying quad. This makes it fly a little bit better for me personally. This will pitch forward almost this far. It will pitch so far that it'll start to lose altitude. So it's got everything you need for a toy. I mean, you're really going to be able to learn how to fly a quadcopter for roughly about 70 bucks or so by the time it's all said and done. These just take AA batteries. talking about the controller. If you guys are experienced with any kind of modern day gaming controller with the twin sticks, that's exactly what it is. It feels a little bit cheap, a little bit toy-like, because it is. It gets the job done. You really can't pinch it. If you're a pinch flyer, not really going to be for you. But if you're used to playing video games, this is a lot like a real life video game. That's why I like it so much. So I'm going to cut in some flying here soon. Let me go over these controls real quick. Here's your stunt button. If you see me flying in the demo and you hear it click, beep, beep. Every time you hit this, it makes a little beep. So you can fly it. This is your altitude. This will bank it sideways this way or this way. No, I'm sorry. This will spin it. So this is the yaw. Yaw means how it will spin. This is up and down. And then this banks it this way, and then this is forward flight. So to lean it forward. This is backwards, lean it backwards. So you have your three settings here. One is barely flyable outside. If you're giving this to maybe somebody under 10 years old, you might want to start them on 1. But I would suggest starting on 2. Get your forward flight down. You know, get to where you're not crashing into trees and stuff. And get really comfortable with that. If it's a little bit windier, you're definitely going to need 3. 3 is the advanced mode. It is really aggressive. I mean, I think it's advertising on 13 miles an hour. I feel like I can get it going faster. If I fly it up, cut the throttle, make it come in way forward, and then jam back on the throttle, it'll pull itself forward really quickly. So anyways, there you go. If you're in forward flight and this thing is going forward and you hit the stunt button in forward flight, it will do a moving barrel roll. It'll barrel roll and keep moving forward. A lot of these toy quadcopters will not do that moving barrel roll. This one will. If you want to do standing still flips, you hit the stunt button and then pull whatever direction you want to flip. So stunt button this, we'll flip it this way. You know, stunt button forward, we'll do a front flip. It's very easy. It's all pre-programmed. This does not have like the super advanced modes where there is no assistance. And I say assistance very lightly. Assistance being if you let off these sticks beside your altitude, no matter what you're in, this will level itself out. Now it won't reorientate you. But if you're in trouble like this and it feels like it's going like this and you just kind of keep your altitude, let off this completely. It will level itself back out. Right? And then all these are your trim buttons. You'll read in the manual if you pick this up. It's not too hard to trim it out. So if you turn it on and you give it a little bit of altitude and it's drifting forward, you would just hit this back trim one time. Do you know what I mean? If it's starting to move this way, hit that right trim and it'll make it come back over this way. That way it's all trimmed up. That's what it means. When you hit this altitude, it should just stay in the same spot. Being a toy, being gear driven and stuff like that, it's not quite that good, but it's really nice. So let's cut in some flying footage here and show you what it's all about. One thing to keep in mind when you're flying this is your first time, you're probably going to want to be in a field. Maybe your first few times, maybe your first time trying the advanced mode 3, sensitivity on 3. It can get a little squirrely, even in a bigger front yard. I have about a 1/4 acre here, and not quite all that is front yard, but most of it. So I definitely have enough space here to fly it fairly fast and stuff. I still haven't quite seen what it'll do in full forward flight for more than 5 seconds or so. But it's definitely doable in your open front yard.
Do a front flip. Side flip, side flip. Do a low pass barrel roll. Then we do it coming at us. Oh, too low. All right, that's good.